ever man was loved by wife than thee, he had his hand on the inside of my thigh, with no effect on controlling what happened. As I grew up to be about 14 or 15, I found my heart more carnal. He said good girls never tell, when a verse of stimulus was repeated over and over again. The Lord laid his hand sore upon me and smote me, and you don't call police on him, you just don't call the police. He already told me, don't call the police because I will kill you, and the motivation to respond would be lessened. The response to stimulus would disappear completely. On my deathbed, he was going to kill me and disappear completely. I have no sooner felt my heart out of order, but I've expected correction for it, and he was upset because I couldn't get him the money to buy drugs. It was my ass when I couldn't get him the money to disappear completely. Before I was afflicted, but now I keep thy statues. I couldn't get him the money to put dogs in cages. I went astray at 4 or 5 in the morning. He would wake me up by hitting me and administered electrical shocks at random. At varied intervals, I have been in darkness and seen no light since he worked nights. No matter what response to these dogs made to control the shocks, it didn't help. Sickness, weakness, pain, doubts and fears, slapping, yelling, and hitting many of the dogs. Various voluntary movements were made to escape the shocks. I have oft thought that if the Lord would but lift up the light of his countenance upon me, he would say, her eyes are like that because she wanted green ones, so I gave her black ones. Since none of their movements could halt the shocks, the dogs ceased all further activity. It would be but light to me when he said he was sorry and the dogs accepted the shocks. Although he ground me to powder, he said he was sorry and became passive, submissive, and compliant. It would be but light to me when he said, you're a good girl, nothing will happen to you, when they could have escaped. The doors to the cages were open. I can now say, if I perish, I perish. It's only a power greater than me that keeps me alive, and the dogs accepted the shocks. See what ways of wickedness are in me. No one believed me, and the dogs accepted the shocks. See what ways of wickedness are in me. No one believed me, and the dogs accepted the shocks.
Holy shit.